Some travel in packs and terrorize neighborhoods. Others are just the sad cast-off of owners who abandon them. The problem of strays inspired one Massachusetts woman to do something about it. Jean?
The Bosler Humane Society is the brainchild of Elaine Bosler, a one-time animal officer who became so attached to her work she took it home with her, literally. Now she has a license to house 65 dogs and 85 cats. Her food bill runs about $750 a week, and she spends another $1,200 on the shelter itself. It's all part of her crusade against the abuse and neglect of animals.
I lived in Princeton, Mass, and I was a dog officer. And of course I started picking up all the strays, and I wouldn't destroy them. I was working for a veterinarian at the time, and I'd have them all spayed and find them homes.
Elaine Bosler took in so many strays that she lost her job and finally her own home when a neighbor took her to court for keeping too many animals.
So then after 1 year of going to court, the judge said, okay, Elaine, you can stay in Princeton, keep 10 personal dogs. And I said, who would I destroy? And I said, give me 2 months and I'll sell my house and move out of town. He said, where are you going with 37 dogs and 24 cats? And I said, I don't know. I said, but I'm not going to destroy my animals for anybody. So in 2 months, I sold my house and moved out of town. And that's how I landed in Barry. Actually, I started off with a chicken coop in Princeton, but here I have 3 1/3 acres. So I went from a $2,000 mortgage to a $40,000 mortgage. I went from a chicken coop to what I have here. This is Gordon. Most of all these dogs here were strays. They've been abandoned, tied to trees in the woods. One afternoon, every time I hung the phone up, it rang again for me to take animals, and you can just take so many.
Over the years, Elaine has placed 3,000 animals in adoptive homes.
Okay, come on, we'll go for a walk. Come on. I decided I had to find a way of making a living to support the animals, so I became incorporated, and it's now a nonprofit tax deductible organization. I live strictly by donation. I have 3,600 members right now, and without them, there would be no Bosler Humane Society.
Elaine says that 40 million stray dogs are destroyed every year in the United States at a cost of $5 million to the taxpayer.
People, the first thing they should do when they get a pet, they should have it altered. Buddy! No, buddy! Buddy, catch! People just will not alter their pets, and if you take 2 female dogs on an average and you don't have them altered, in 7 years you have 4,300 dogs. So I have everything altered, and then I find them a home.
But finding good homes is not easy.
For instance, a woman came up one day and told me, oh, I've had 3 dogs in the past year. I just love dogs. And I said, well, gee, what happened to them? She said, well, they're dumb. They go on the road and they all get hit by cars. And I said, well, I'm not giving you number 4 to get hit by a car. And I really feel unleashed, unloved. Bobby, no, Bobby. You really have to keep your eye on your dog today because there's just so many being stolen and used in laboratories. And when a young boy can go out and he's involved in drugs and he can steal 4 dogs a day and get $25 a dog, and he turns them over to a dealer who then sells them to the laboratory from $75 to $150 a piece. They just disappear.
All in all, it's the human cruelty to animals that got Elaine so involved.
Duchess I've had about 8 years. I took her from a housing project, and they had poured lighter fluid all over and set her on fire. So I treated her, and she's fine. But nobody's ever wanted to adopt her. Huh.
Of course, the young dogs and cats are easier to place, but their stories are sad, too.
I have 8 puppies here that were dumped off in a burlap bag. They had no hair, so I treated them for the mange, and they're fine. I placed 5 of them, and I have 3 left. And then the others here, this is the mother and her 3 puppies. They were abandoned in the last snowstorm. Of course, when it's sunny out, they all like to sleep in the sun.
In addition to her 65 dogs and 10 puppies, Elaine now cares for some 85 cats. When her volunteer assistants set out the food each day, everyone comes running. But there are sad stories here as well.
Okay, this little cat I've had for about a week. Some boys down the down the street had taken her by the tail, and they were swinging her around, and a woman called and asked me if I would take the cat because they were tormenting her, and she thought she was pregnant. So I picked up the cat, and 3 hours later she presented me with 5 little kittens.
Ordinarily, this kitten would stand a good chance of being adopted, but it's spring now and kittens are abundant. So like many other cats, it could spend its whole life here, taking up a place that will therefore be unavailable to other homeless strays.
I'm only one person, and there's not enough humane societies around, and of course you have to destroy them, and there's not enough homes. And this is Jenks. I received a call, and he was living in the woods eating berries with some boy that was on the run from the police, and the dog had been shot. And so I took him, and I had him x-rayed at a vet, and unfortunately his time is very limited, and he probably only has a few more months, but while he's here he'll be happy and cared for, and somebody will care about him.
Elaine Bosler's life would be hard for most of us to live, but she thinks that more of us could practice some of what she preaches.
I don't care what you help. I worked with battered children, old people. Help something. If a child is hit in the road, hit by a car, and a dog is hit by a car, and there's 100 people watching, 100 people will pick up the child. And I'm not questioning that. The child should be picked up. But there still has to be one person out of that 100 that'll pick up the dog. It's still a respect for life, and it's a living thing. And I think all forms of life deserve respect.